Alright, so we're going to be covering the main combos in Azamina, Fiendsmith, Snake Eye. And first of all, I just want to ask the question, how are the Azamina cards a thing? It's like someone legit in R&D, in Konami R&D, saw these Snake Eyes cards and saw this original Sinful spoils and thought, man, these cards, they're not strong enough. We need to give them more support so that they're better. And, you know, that's how they made the Azamina cards, I guess. And I'm going to show you how disgusting these Azamina cards just are. So, this first combo is going to be Deception of the Sinful Spoils, the new starter for a deck, plus any monster. Could be any monster. You just have to tribute a monster for this card's effect. So, you're going to activate Deception of the Sinful Spoils, and you're going to sack the any monster, and you're going to add Hallowed Azamina to hand. Hallowed Azamina, this card lets you fusion summon using spell cards. Why? Because that makes sense. Just because. So you're going to activate Hallowed Azamina. You're going to reveal Azamina Murcielago, the level 6 Azamina fusion, and you're going to send Deception to grave for the materials for the fusion summon, because that makes sense. And you're going to summon the Murcielago, and Murcielago, when it's summoned, you get to search Sinful Spoils spell and trap, or Sinful Spoils card from your deck to your hand. So you're going to add Wanted Secret of Sinful Spoils in this line. And now you're going to use Hallowed Azamina's Engrave effect, because it does have a grave effect, because it has to. And you're going to bounce back the Murcielago and add the Hallowed Azamina back to hand. And now, here's the important part. Now that you have another Sinful Spoils cards in your hand, you can use Hallowed Azamina to fusion summon, but you're going to chain Wanted to the Hallowed Azamina. And chain resolves backwards. You're going to add Diabellstar Black Witch from your deck to your hand, and now you're going to reveal Azamina Ilia Sylvia, and you're going to send the Wanted that you just activated to grave. So it's free. You essentially get a free fusion summon. You don't even lose any cards in that entire process, and now you get the Azamina Ilia Sylvia on the field. What is Ilia Sylvia? This card is an Omni Negate. So now, the Azamina cards essentially, they searched you your starter in Diabellstar Black Witch, and it gives you an Omni Negate before you commit any starter to your main combo. So now you get the combo with an Omni Negate on the field for free, while searching your starter. Because, again, Snake Eyes was not strong enough already. So now you're going to use your Black Witch, and you're going to discard any card. I'm just going to discard Cross-Out Designator so it stops being annoying and stops, giving me the prompt. But you should probably discard Bonfire in this case, if you had this exact hand. And you're going to special summon Diabellstar, and Diabellstar is going to place original Sinful Spoils. And you're going to use original Sinful Spoils, sacking the Diabellstar, and you're going to special summon Snake Eye Ash from deck. And of note, before, Snake Eyes Ash was your best starter in Snake Eyes, that's not the case anymore. Now your best starter in Snake Eyes is Diabellstar the Black Witch or Deception of the Sinful Spoils. Because if you open with either of these two, you get to start your combo and you get to have an Omni Negate on your field before you even combo. Whereas if you just lead with Snake Eyes Ash, you get the same end board just minus this Omni Negate. And of note, if you want to do the Snake Eyes Ash combo, it's the exact same moving forward. The exact same steps as if with Snake Eyes Ash as you do with this combo. It's just that you don't have the Ilia Sylvia on the field. So yeah, we're going to use Ash effect, and you're going to add Poplar, and now you're going to special summon Poplar, and Poplar is going to add our Divine Temple. And now you'll activate Divine Temple, and you're going to place Snake Eyes Diabellstar. And now you're going to use Snake Eyes Ash to send the Snake Eyes Diabellstar to special summon Oak from your deck. And now Oak is going to special summon back the Snake Eyes Ash. And now we're first going to make a Linkuriboh with the Poplar. And then Poplar's effect is going to trigger, and you're going to replace the Snake Eyes Diabellstar in your spell and trap zone. And now we get to the second new engine in the deck, the Fiendsmiths, because Closed Moon is a card that exists, and we can turn any two monsters into a Light Fiend. And with a Light Fiend, we can turn any Light Fiend into Fiendsmith Requiem. So we're going to turn the Closed Moon that we just made to Requiem. Now we're going to use Requiem's effect Tribute itself, and we're going to special summon an Engraver from deck. And now we're going to use we're going to use Requiem's Engrave effect, and we're going to equip it to Fiendsmith Engraver. And now because we get the equip card, we can use Snake Eyes Oak to send the Fiendsmith Requiem we just equipped, because, you know, there has to be more synergy with these decks. And we're going to special summon Flamebird from deck. And now you're going to use Snake Eyes Diabellstar. You're going to place Oak in your spell and trap zone because it's the best for follow-up to summon off Divine Temple on your opponent's turn. And special Snake Eyes Diabellstar. And now you're going to link into Requiem using Snake Eye Diabellstar plus Fiendsmith Engraver. And you're going to use Sequence's effect. You're going to summon Fiendsmith Desirate, shuffling back Engraver, Requiem, and Closed Moon. And the zones kind of matter here, so place Fiendsmith Desirate in the middle column here just to be safe. And now you're going to link the Snake Eyes Flamberge plus the Sequence into a Promethean Princess. And you're going to use Flamberge's effect now to revive your 2 Snake Eyes monsters. And make sure you revive one of the Snake Eyes monsters to the zone underneath the Promethean Princess. That's really important. Special summon Poplar. And now you're going to use Fiendsmith Sequence Engrave effect to equip the Fiendsmith Desirate. And now Desirate, basically this card can negate cards on the field up to the link material of Fiendsmith monsters equipped to this card. So this is another Omni Negate. This is a double Omni Negate. So now you have 2 Omni Negates on the board. And you're going to use Promethean Princess to revive the Snake Eyes Flamberge. And so here's the thing about Promethean Princess, right? Promethean Princess is a balanced card, right? Because it locks you into fire while it's on the field. That totally makes it balanced, right? Well, use Fiendsmith Desirate's effect, target Promethean Princess, and not anymore. You are no longer locked into fire monsters because you can negate your own Promethean Princess with Fiendsmith Desirate. So now that you're no longer fire locked, let's make that IP with Snake Eyes Ash plus Poplar, and we're gonna link the IP plus the Promethean. This is the most cursed sentence you'll ever hear in Yu-Gi-Oh! You're gonna link the Promethean Princess, the IP into an Appaloosa. Yes, we're sorry. Use Promethean Princess as 3 material, and you're gonna link the Promethean Princess that fire locks you, that's supposed to fire lock you into a fucking Appaloosa, because we're allowed to do that, right? And now we can use Flamberge, and we're going to place the IP Masquerade in the spell and trap zone. And now we're going to use, now that we've thinned our deck out of all of these cards, we can use Wanted's Engrave effect to draw another card by putting back the original Sinful spoils. So now we drew oh, but by the way, just if you didn't know, we did this entire combo, this entire end board. We did not normal summon yet. We did this entire combo without normal summoning. Yep. And we go to end phase, because the Deception of Sinful Spoils was sent there this turn. We get to use Deception's effect to place it in the back row for free as follow-up. So what is this end board? This end board is Ilya Sylvia, Fiendsmith Desirate, 2 material Appaloosa, Flamberge, IP, Princess Engrave. It's 2 Omni Negates, 2 Appaloosa Negates, IP into SP plus the Promethean Princess. That's like already 6 to 7 interruptions. Fiendsmith Desirate is actually a double Omni Negate if you can get that, if you could even set it up. But yeah, and now you also have so much follow-up. You drew a card off of Wanted. You have the Deception as follow-up, so you can do the whole thing again next turn. You have Hallowed Azamina Engrave as well, so it can add itself back next turn as well. You have the Oak follow-up, you have the Flamberge follow-up, and all of this costed you 1.5 cards. You still had like 3-4 other cards in hand too. So yeah, this is. I mean, do I need to say more about how broken this end board is? Like, This is why people have been hyping up this deck. Like, this is genuinely this is fucking insane. And once people learn how to play this deck and combo this deck properly, you're gonna have to familiarize yourself with this combo and this Ember, because you're gonna be seeing this a lot. Man, Yu-Gi-Oh is so great. Great guys. And obviously, if you open Diabellstar, the Black Witch, or Wanted, which searches Diabellstar instead of Deception, it's also, you get to the same end board and the combo is 90% the same. It's just you have to sequence things slightly differently for the first part of the combo where you're doing the Azamina stuff. So here, obviously, we'll get Diabellstar, and we'll use Diabellstar to pitch any card in hand. We'll pitch Snake Eyes Diabellstar. Don't worry about pitching Snake Eyes Diabellstar because Tempo can place from grave, so this is fine. And this combo, Diabellstar or Wanted, it's a true 1.5 card combo. You don't even need another monster in hand. You just need any old discard plus Diabellstar access. So use Diabellstar, and you're gonna place the Deception. Activate the Deception, and you're gonna use Deception to pop the Diabellstar, or tribute the Diabellstar, and add your Hallowed Azamina. Now you're gonna use Hallowed Azamina, like before, sending the revealing Murcielago, and send the Deception, and special the Murcielago, and use Murcielago's effect. Here you're gonna search original Sinful spoils, and you're gonna use Hallowed Azamina, put back the Murcielago, so it gets back to your hand. Now you're gonna use Hallowed Azamina to reveal Sylvia, and then send the original Sinful spoils to special summon Sylvia. And now you're gonna use the grave effect of original Sinful spoils to put back the Diabellstar, or you can put back Snake Eyes Diabellstar. But imagine we discarded a blank card, you would put back the Diabellstar, and you would add Snake Eyes Ash to your hand. And because you haven't normal summoned yet, you can now normal summon the Snake Eyes Ash, and now you have the full combo again. And you just do the exact same thing as the last combo. And here we'll special summon Poplar. And just to show that you can discard the Snake Eyes Diabellstar, so we're going to use Poplar. We're going to add Tempo, and Tempo is going to place the Snake Eye Diabellstar from grave, and we're completely fine. So that was a free discard essentially. So yeah, and now you just that's the setup. So you just sequence it slightly differently, where you're using the original Sinful spoils to summon the Sylvia with the Hallowed Azamina, and then you're going to use the grave effect of original Sinful spoils to add Snake Eye Ash to hand, and then because you have normal summon, you're going to normal summon Snake Eye Ash, and then you do your full Snake Eyes Fiendsmith combo afterwards. So yeah, that's just a slight sequencing difference, but you can do the exact same combo with Diabellstar as you did with Deception. Alright, so we're actually still missing a couple cards from the Fiendsmith engine. Namely, the main deck, Lacrima, and Neko Princess. So this deck is going to get even crazier in the future, because if we have those cards, then literally almost any combination of monsters we have would be full combo. Even the worst Light Fiend, which is like normal summon Fabled Lurie, would still get you the full Snake Eyes combo. As well as any two monsters turning into Closed Moon would also get you the full Snake Eyes combo. We can't do that right now at this moment, so look out for that in the future. But the Fiendsmith engine still adds more starters to the Snake Eyes deck. Namely Fiendsmith Engraver. This is the one Fiendsmith monster where if you hard draw this but no Snake Eyes monsters, you still have full Snake Eyes combo. So we're gonna pretend that we don't have this Deception here, okay? This Deception does not exist, and we're gonna be using Fiendsmith Engraver to bridge into the Snake Eyes cards. So we're gonna activate Engraver and add Tract, and you're gonna use Tract to add Fabled Lurie, and then discard Lurie, and then Lurie is gonna special summon itself, and now Lurie is gonna go into Fiendsmith Requiem, and then use Requiem effect, sack itself to special summon the second Engraver from deck, because Engraver is semi-limited, so we're still allowed to do this. And now, the Engraver that's engraved... Oh, holy shit, I just realized how stupid that sounds. I'm never gonna unhear that. Okay, so the Engraver that's engraved, you're gonna use its engrave effect to shuffle back the Fabled Lurry, to special summon back the Engraver. And now, with these two Engravers, you're going to link both of them into Fiendsmith Sequence. And with Sequence, you're going to use its effect to fusion summon, shuffle back, or make Lacrima by shuffling back Requiem and one Engraver, and keep the other Engraver engraved. And now, when Lacrima is fusion summoned, you target the Engraver that's still engraved, and then you special summon it. And you get to see this lovely animation for the third time in like 4 summons. But yeah, now you have 2 level 6s on the field. Well, what does that mean? We get to make the card that everyone's complaining about, Beatrice. And this is why everyone was so shocked that Beatrice was not banned. Because now, despite not having any Snake Eyes cards, we can detach Engraver and send Snake Eyes Ash to the grave. And what does that mean? Now we can link the Beatrice and the Sequence into Promethean Princess. And first, we're gonna burn your opponent for 1200 just because why not, right? Because why this, you know, why not just add a burn effect for free, right? Shuttle back the Sequence, do 1200, and then use Promethean Princess, revive that Snake Eyes Ash that we just dumped 2 seconds ago with Beatrice, and now we get the Poplar. We get the Ash, add Poplar, and now we have full Snake Eyes combo. That's great. That's lovely. Anyone else love that? So you're gonna use Snake Eyes Poplar, and you're gonna use Poplar. You're gonna add Temple to hand. We already have Temple in hand, but here you would add Temple to hand. And now you place Temple, and Temple is going to place the Snake Eyes Diabellstar, and use Ash, sending the Snake Eyes Diabellstar to summon Oak from deck. And Oak effect, summon back the Ash. And now, because this Promethean Princess has done its job for us, it's served its purpose, we're going to use Oak to send the Promethean Princess to summon the Flamebird from deck. And now we're going to use Flamebird's effect. We're going to scale the Snake Eyes Diabellstar. And you're going to link the Flamberge plus the Poplar into an IP Masquerena at top, and now trigger Flamberge effect and trigger Snake Eyes Poplars, placing the Flamberge, and now you get the special summon back your Oak and Poplar, and now link the Oak into Linkaribo, and you're going to use Snake Eye Diabellstar effect to place the Oak back in your Spell and Trap Zone and special summon the Snake Eyes Diabellstar. And now you get to make a 4 material Appaloosa with these 4 on the bottom. And the moment your opponent summons a monster, the Divine Temple is going to revive Flamberge, and Flamberge can revive Oak. But by the way, we also did not normal summon to do this entire combo either. So technically, we could also normal summon to extend further if we wanted to. But yeah, this is the 1-card Fiendsmith Engraver combo that's the greediest line, where it gets you the most on your end board, which it gets you a 4 material Appaloosa. There are lines that you can do that get you a 2 material Appaloosa and have the Flamberge already on the field, and then the IP and the Spell and Trap Zone. That way, in theory, that plays around hand traps better, like stuff like Imperm and stuff like Nibiru. If your opponent Nibiru's, you technically didn't use your Flamberge yet, but I'm gonna be honest. If your opponent had hand traps, they would have hand trapped you well before this point. Okay, they would have hand trapped you on the Fiendsmith stuff. Like they would have tried the Ash, you know, your Beatrice, or like Imperm your Princess, or Imperm your Beatrice or your Sequence or any number of cards they could have hit before this point. If you get to the point where you get the Flamberge after starting with Engraver, it's usually safe to assume that your opponent probably just didn't have the proper hand trap to stop you in the first place. So this is why I like doing this line for the most greedy combo. But technically, you could do a quote-unquote safer line by by just switching. Basically, you're switching the places with IP Masquerena and Flamberge, and you have the Appaloosa with less materials because you didn't use your Flamberge effect. But yeah, this is just an example to show you that yes, Fiendsmith Engraver, because we have this Beatrice card legal, lets you bridge into your Snake Eyes combo, and this is with 3 other cards in hand, most likely that are hand traps. It's actually 4 other cards in hand. This is a 1-card combo. This is generally enough to win you the game too. So yeah. So here's what a sample Azamina Fiendsmith Snake Eyes deck will look like. So we're gonna start off with the Snake Eyes cards, and the problem with Snake Eyes prior to the Azamina cards and the Fiendsmith cards was that you can see they're so hit on the balance that we didn't really have many Snake Eyes cards to begin with that are good, and because of that, the deck lacked starters before. So you can see we have 1 Ash, 1 Oak, 1 Poplar, 2 Bonfire, 1 1-for-1, 3 Diabellstar, and a Wanted. Those were the only starters we had prior to this update. So obviously the deck had some consistency issues, and we needed to find ways to make up for the consistency. Well, here the Azamina cards basically just fixed that completely. The Azamina and Fiendsmith cards, because the Azamina cards added you 3 simple Deception Symbol Spoils. So these are essentially 3 extra starters, and then the Fiendsmith cards gives you 2 Engravers. So this was 2 more starters. So you gained 5 starters from this update. So now the consistency issue with Snake Eyes is just mostly solved now. Now you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You have 15 good starters now, when before you only had 10. So yeah, you now have a over 90% chance to open a starter now. So your consistency problems are basically solved with this update. And yeah, the Azamina package is just 3 Deception and then 1 Hallowed Azamina, and that's it. So like 4 slots. And then the Fiendsmith cards, the Fiendsmith engine is just 2 Engraver, because Engraver is semi-limited, and we don't have the main deck Lacrima yet, obviously, so just this package isn't really that big, to be honest. It's just 2 Engraver, a Lurie, and a Tract, and that's it. And then the rest, obviously you need 1 Flamberge and 1 Diabellstar, but the rest is non-engine, because as you saw with the combos, these combos are fucking stupid right now, and you absolutely need to hand trap your opponent, and you need to stop them from making the board. Otherwise, 99% of the time, if your opponent makes their full combo, you're not breaking that board. You're just cooked. So Snake Eyes has an advantage in that it has so much room for non-engine. So this deck is still running 15 hand traps, and if you don't feel comfortable, you can even run more hand traps if you want to. There's obviously the mandatory 2 Maxi now. Feels really good to say that. Hope 1 soon in the future, soon TM. 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, 3 Valor. The 1 Full Loss, this is honestly just for a cross-out target, but this deck, theoretically, you could run more Full Loss too if you wanted to, because this deck, and now with the addition of the Azamina cards, you have more ways to take advantage of dead cards in your hand, right? Because Deception of the Sinful Spoiler requires you to sack a monster to use it, so why not? If you go first and you have a Fool Loss in hand, why not just sack a Fool Loss for free, right? It wasn't gonna do anything for you anyways. And on top of that, you have the 3 Witch and the 1 Wanted as well, so you have 7 and a 1-for-1 too. So you have like 8 ways to get rid of dead Fool Losses in hand if you really want to add more and more Charming into your deck. So that's why it was. And then 3 Droll. Droll is maybe one of the few hand traps that can stop an opponent by itself. Usually you have to pair 2 hand traps together to have a chance to stop your opponent, like Valor, Ash, or Max, or Imperm Valor, or Imperm Ash, but Droll has the possibility of stopping your opponent's turn by itself. But obviously it depends like what they start with. Sometimes Droll isn't going to be enough, but sometimes, if your opponent goes Bonfire, you can Oak, you can Droll, and then that does a number on them. You could they could start lead with something like a Deception, and then hitting Droll on the Deception if they don't already have a Black Witch in hand also can hurt, because then they can't add with their Mercer Largo. So yeah, and obviously your opponent starts Fiendsmith Engraver, and if Great Engraver add Tract, you Droll them, they can't use Tract anymore. So yeah, this card has potential to be very good this format against the Azamina, against decks playing the Azamina and the Fiendsmith engine. And yeah, that's the main deck. It's a solid, concise 40 cards. Despite there being like 3 separate engines in here, this deck still has room for 15 hand traps, and it still fits into 40 cards. So that's a, you know, it's a very, this deck is very clean looking. I'll say it's very aesthetic. It looks there's not, it's not gonna trigger as much people's OCD, you know, as a 41 card deck or other decks that run these cards. And yeah, the extra deck. So the extra deck is super tight. It's so tight. I'm like, there's maybe one flex spot in the extra deck, which is the Nightmare Phoenix in here. So you need Lacrima is required for, you know, as you saw the Engraver combos where you don't open the Snake Eyes cards, but Lacrima summoning back an Engraver to go into Beatrice lets you bridge into your Snake Eyes card still. And then, you know, the 2 Azamina fusions, you need both of these, Murcielago, to search your symbol spoils, to search your OSS or your wanted, depending on what you start with, and then Ilya Sylvia as the Omni Negate to facilitate, to protect your plays, but also to be an endboard piece if they don't hand trap you. Yeah, you need both of these. You need Desiree as the endboard piece, and this is like honestly the strongest part of your endboard, just the double Omni Negate. Beatrice is needed, Linkaribo is needed, Requiem is needed, Sequence is needed, Peruvian Princess is needed, Appaloosa is needed, Moon of the Close Heaven is needed to bridge into your Fiendsmith cards. You need SP, you need IP, and probably you want Hita just because, you know, generic Link climbing to a generic Link 2. But these Hita and Nightmare Phoenix are the most cuttable cards. Do you notice we're not running? I'm not even running Raging Phoenix, and I'm not running what's that card? Zealantis. Simply because there's actually just no room. In order to fit those two, the only 2 flex spots are Hita plus Nightmare Phoenix. So in order to fit Zealantis for Raging Phoenix, or something like Selene plus Access Code, you would have to basically cut Nightmare Phoenix and Hita, which admittedly you can do, and it makes your OTKing easier, but at the same time, right, these cards are also quite important to the deck too. Especially Hita, allowing you to even crash into your opponent's monster to get engine. You know, the standard Hita crash the Poplar and to get into full Snake Eyes combo is still a classic. And obviously, if you expect a lot of people to be playing Snake Eyes builds and Azamina builds that focus on Snake Eyes cards, yeah, Hita's gonna be really important. And then Nightmare Phoenix is just generically very good as well. And you do need a fire. You kind of want a fire link in the instances where you can't negate your Peruvian Princess with Desiree. You kind of want a fire link to be able to link off your Peruvian Princess into. So it's like either Nightmare Phoenix or the Raging Phoenix, one of the 2 Phoenixes, right? And yeah, well, obviously we're not playing Dark either because the extra deck space is so tight that that could use 20 extra deck cards, but we only have 15 slots. So you gotta make some concessions somewhere, and these are basically the 2 slots that you have the most flexibility with. But yeah, that's Azamina Fugitive Snake Eye. You know, the deck is hyped up for a reason, and if you still own your Snake Eyes cards and you pulled the Azamina cards, go give this deck give this deck a try, and actually go destroy your opponents on the ladder, because I guarantee most players on the ladder right now, I've seen it, they don't know how to combo with this deck. You've watched this video, you know how to combo with this deck now. You can smash all the people playing the mirror matches free. You show them how to combo correctly.